All right. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Joyce Cox, and I am the Senior Manager of the Office of Neighborhood Engagement for the Division of Housing and Community Development. And we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for attending our How to Brand Your Neighborhood Association. But I would be remiss if I don't say we want to thank our Director Ashley Cash, and our Mayor, Jim Strickland, for allowing us this opportunity to present to you today. And next, I want to introduce the team, and that is Ms. Lakeisha Smith, Miss Tammy Davis, who's on here as well. And I'm quite sure you know Tammy because she's made thousands and thousands of phone calls saying, join us, join us, join us. Mr. Sherman Robinson, who's also a part of our team, and our wonderful intern, Ms. Nebanita Nira, who's with the University of Memphis, and as well as Vanessa Deladigo. I'm sorry, Vanessa. Okay. But Vanessa's our public relations for our division. And so once again, thank you for joining us. Our flow is Lakeisha will introduce our speaker, and at the end we will have Q&A, as well as don't forget to fill out the evaluation form. The link is in the chat, and that's going to help us decide what we do next year, but also we want to make sure that we're bringing you information that you need and want. And so Lakeisha, take it away, because we have one of the best speakers in the world, one of the best speakers in the world, and she knows this topic well. So we appreciate her, Mama. And I call her friend. So, Lakeisha.
Yes. Miss Allison J. Fouche, innovative, passionate, proven communications expert Allison Johnson Fouche has helped to shape the political landscape in Memphis through strategic marketing, adaptive planning, and the creation of effective messaging that resonates with constituents. A civil servant backed by 20 years of experience, Fouche has worked alongside 4 City of Memphis mayors and has developed a reputation as a straight shooter who specializes in solutions. Her hard work, relentless dedication, and sound decision making have enabled her to climb the ranks to her current position as City of Memphis Deputy Chief Communications Officer. In this critical role, Fouche is tasked with branding city government, which consists of the Mayor's Office, the Office of Business Diversity and Compliance, Police Services, Our Services, Human Resources, the Parks and Neighborhoods Division, and the Memphis Public Libraries. Allison Fouche knows the secrets to marketing in the 21st century and understands the complexities of establishing and maintaining a brand in government and the corporate sector. Prior to her current position, she worked as strategic marketing coordinator for Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, where she won the American Public Gas Association Marketing Sales Award for the company's CNG strategic plan and wrote the winning proposal for the Governor's Environmental Stewardship Award for Clean Air. Fouche's career is built upon years of specialized training in the classroom, as she excelled on the academic stage as well. Her Master of Science degree in Integrated Marketing Communications, magna cum laude from West Virginia University, and Bachelor of Science degree in Mass Communications, cum laude from Middle Tennessee State University. And also Fouche community involvement beyond the workplace also illustrates the commitment to civil service. Allison is married to Robert Fouche and is the mother of 3 children. I present to you our speaker for the evening, Mrs. Allison J. Fouche.
Well, when she reads it, I sound like somebody. But I'm really just a person that works day to day to help communicate effectively to our residents, to our citizens, and helping departments with that as well. And thank you, Joyce, for asking me to come and do this again. I actually did this first presentation at NUSA probably about 5 years ago. And it's kind of changed. I've gone and I've kind of taken it around and I've talked about it. But it's something that we need to, that is important to talk about, and it's our neighborhoods and how we brand. How do people look at our neighborhoods? Everybody wants to rep. It's kind of like rep your city. In Memphis, especially, we rep our neighborhoods. If you know, where are you from? I'm from Whitehaven because that's where I'm from. But I'm from Whitehaven, or I'm, you know, so. And when you think about that, you think about what comes with Whitehaven, Graceland, Whitehaven High School. You start thinking Southland Mall. You start thinking about things that come with what Whitehaven is when you start thinking about when you say Whitehaven. But in Memphis, we are known for being parts of our neighborhood. So this is to kind of give you some feedback and give you some pointers on how do you effectively bring your neighborhood so that we can be looked at as a welcoming city and a welcoming neighborhood. So let's go to the first slide. So why should you create a brand for your neighborhood? Why should you create a brand? You create a brand for your neighborhood to build a sense of place for your current residents. So what I mean by that is so people can feel like they are connected and they are a part of something, or they are like, and have some community pride. So you brand it so that you can, so people can feel like I have a place. I'm not just in a home. I have a community. So you brand your neighborhood. That's one of the reasons why I think it's good to brand your neighborhood. To convey professionalism when seeking resources. There are several grants, and we'll talk about that later, but there are several grants that you can, if you're a nonprofit, so say you establish yourself as a neighborhood association with nonprofit status, there are grants out here that you can apply for that can help with improving your neighborhood. So that's another reason why you should brand your neighborhoods, to convey professionalism, to attract new residents who connect with your neighborhood story. So we always want, we don't want people to leave our neighborhoods and go to other places. We want people to stay. So we want to brand our neighborhoods so that people will be more inclined to feel that sense of community and they will stay. Next slide. Again, why should you create a brand for your neighborhood? Branding one's neighborhood offers an opportunity to create a verbal and visual identity and reintroduce the community, to instill pride in residents and make a place known to others in the city. This can be through various things, banners, logos, t-shirts, signage, just different things. When you think about Orange Mound, you think about the historic Melrose. So that's a story there. So you brand your neighborhood along with some of the wonderful things that are there. So let's talk about what if you have a wrong perception. Let's go to the next slide, Vanessa. What do we, when you have the wrong perception of your neighborhood, is it a perception or is it reality? We have a lot of perceptions about certain neighborhoods, like don't go over there after dark, or what, you know, you have perceptions. And me being a lifelong Memphian, there are certain areas that, you know, they have some stereotypes attached to them. So it's important for us to explore those negative perceptions about your neighborhood, and, you know, if that exists, and how can we change that perspective? How can we, you know, how can we make that from a perception to, okay, let's change the trajectory of where that's going so that it can be looked at in a positive light? You know, is there history that we can glean upon? Is there the spirit of the neighbors? You know, there's certain places that people are just welcoming when you're there. You feel like home. So, you know, you have to start looking at what the positive things are, so that if you have a negative perception, you can change that. And that's why we're here today, to talk about that. So media, I talk about this all the time because we deal with media all the time. I hate when we get on the news and they say this happened in Orange Mound and it's not Orange Mound. I wish they would stop doing that, or this happened wherever, wherever it is, and it's not really that neighborhood. So again, so if you catch that, it's okay to control your narrative and don't let the media shape your message. It's okay for you to call the news and say, hey, that's not Orange Mound, or that's not Whitehaven, that's, whatever the area is. Because, you take pride in your neighborhood. You take pride in what's going on there. So the media sometimes, can misrepresent us in our community. So it's okay to make that call so that they can make that adjustment. So that sometimes the damage is done, but sometimes they'll run a story so many times and they will eventually, change it if you call about it. So next slide. One great way to brand your neighborhood is to create a logo. And I've listed some of, like Cooper Young, has downtown neighborhood. These are some other cities, not just in Memphis, but it's great to have a logo, because with the logo, you can do bumper stickers, t-shirts, yard signs, things. You can do things to instill pride. If you're doing like a best yard, you have your logo on there so people can know this is Cooper Young, or this is Orange Mound, this is where I am. So creating a logo, and there are a lot of places that you can get those things done online that don't really cost a whole lot of money, or there are a lot of graphic designers in the area that will be glad to meet with you and do that. And I have if anybody needs resources, they can contact me and I can lead you in the right direction for this. But creating the logo is one step to create that positive trajectory for your neighborhood. So next slide, tactics using technology. So these are other tactics beyond a logo that you can use. It's important for the business and residential communities in any neighborhood to join forces in creating the image that should be conveyed about their audience at large. So I'm going to go over some tactics that will be very good for us to talk about. So one thing is, next slide, is social media. This is no cost, really. You can create your own social media presence. You use that logo, you put it up there. You invite people in your neighborhood to be a part of your Facebook page. You can engage with them. You can talk about if it's a national night out or whatever's going on in your neighborhood. This could be a place, a centerpiece for people to go. Facebook, Instagram. You can create a YouTube page if you want to take videos of things that are going on. LinkedIn, all of these kind of social media platforms you can possibly create for your neighborhood association, so you can reach people if you don't have a roster, or if you don't have phone numbers and email addresses. It could be a starting point on social media to get to know your neighbors as well. Next slide, please. Okay, Nextdoor. How many people on here have heard of Nextdoor? Okay, that's good. So I love Nextdoor. Nextdoor to me is the neighborhood version of Facebook. So, but Nextdoor is a free public social network that's used by 1 in 3 U.S. neighborhoods, and residents get to know each other, ask questions, share recommendations, and discuss safety. This is very good for safety. I know everybody is concerned right now about safety in their communities, but on Nextdoor, I know in my neighborhood, we share if we see strange things happening in the neighborhood. If we see someone walking around, pulling on car door handles or doing things, if you got footage from your Ring camera, you could say this person, was doing this in my driveway or whatever. So people can be aware and be cognizant of what's going on in their environment. So next slide. Neighbors who knew each other and look out for each other. 93% say it's important for neighbors to look out for one another, and 67% of homeowners feel safer when they know their neighbors. So this is just another way for you to get to know your neighbors and also spread information about what's going on. It can be something, you could have a yard sale. You could put it on next door for your, and what the beautiful part about it is, it stays within your neighborhood. So it's not like it's sent to all of Memphis. It stays within your neighborhood. So 79% of people that use an online neighborhood forum talk with their neighbors at least in person at least once a month. I have neighbors I talk to all the time. You know, I walk down the street and we keep each other informed about things that are going on or new developments we hear. So as always, this is another way that you can get to know your neighbors as well as brand your neighborhood. Okay, next slide. Emails and text messages. So if you have a database of all of your people who live in your neighborhood or who belong to your neighborhood association, you can send them an email. You know, so it could be something going on, or again, this is just another way, another touch point for folks for you to reach out to your neighbors within your neighborhood. So emails, text messaging, a couple of free resources are MailChimp and Text 180. These are platforms that you can create your own email that you can send to your database, or you can, if you have a phone list, you can create a phone tree with this. So emails and text messaging, if you have those, you know, numbers handy, it's another way you can help brand your neighborhood and as well as get in touch with your neighbors. Next slide. Digital newsletters. You know, Joyce, one of the biggest compliments Joyce gave me one time was, I saw your newsletter, Allison, and we want to do something similar for HCD because they are effective. They are able to. So I've done digital newsletters. Joyce does digital newsletters, but you're able to showcase and promote what's going on. It doesn't have to be any more than 4 pages. It could just be, you know, when's the next meeting? And then you can have pictures of some of the things, some of the improvements in the neighborhood, or you can let people know. It could even, if you're small enough, you can even have birthdays and things like that, because people may want to wish one of their neighbors a happy birthday. So you can, again, build that sense of community to brand your neighborhood. Next slide. Website. If you don't have a website and have an online presence, there's a free website service called Neighborhood Link. So all you have to do is put your information in there, and it will help you create your own website so that you don't have to pay a web designer. You can just, you know, once you get your logo created, then you can go on in and then you can tell people about your neighborhood association, tell them, you know, maybe the parameters of your neighborhood association, you know, what the boundaries are, and just to tell more the history about your neighborhood. Like you see right here, it has like a little map, you know, it has information, and then how you sign up to be a member for it. So digital is where it's at now. You know, yeah, we could do, you know, direct mail pieces and all that. That's good, but it's also costly. But if you can get an online presence and then get phone numbers and email addresses, you can reach those people free. You can just, you know, okay, you know, here's our website, so they can stay current on what's going on with your neighborhood. Next slide. Okay, funding sources. So I said at the beginning, it's good to brand your neighborhood so that you can create a way to get money. So if you're a nonprofit, it's easy to raise money through GoFundMe. It's one of the easiest ways, or either on Facebook they have a platform that also allows you to raise money, but you have to be a nonprofit. So this is a great way to create, like say it's a back to school drive for the kids in your community. You can accept donations so you can pay for school supplies. Also, there are community grants. City Council has a grant as well as County Commission. They both have community grants, but you have to be a nonprofit to, and I think the deadline for City Council's grant cycle is September 1. County Commission, I think, is coming up as well too, but this is another way that you can, say you want a sky cop in your neighborhood, or it's something that is costly that you need additional funds for. But if you establish yourself as a brand, as I am Hickory Hill Neighborhood Association, we are 501c3, we want to fight crime, we want to get a sky cop, this is a way you can, and also that we have other grants through MPD as well, through Neighborhood Watch. So that's even more the reason why the branding of the community is important, as well as just establishing yourself as a nonprofit. Next slide. Okay, that's it. I'll take questions. I'm open to any question at this time. That's a brief rundown of it, but any questions at this time?
I have a question. How do you reach the elderly who have not yet gotten into computers, signing on and following if you have newsletters or digital newsletters or anything that's happening in the neighborhood, those seniors who have just not gotten into computers, how do you
Direct mail pieces, of course, and if you have their address, direct mail pieces. If they come to any of the meetings, if you get their phone numbers, if they have a phone, some of them have at least a flip phone. If you have a phone, then you can text them information as well. But direct mail is still a useful. I've run campaigns before too, and you'll be surprised at still sending direct mail pieces, that they're still very effective. You just have to have, of course, the addresses. But, creating a flyer and sending it out, or canvassing the neighborhoods and putting a flyer on the actual door is another way.
Okay, Allison, there's a question in the chat. Can neighborhood groups engage a nonprofit that could serve as a physical agent?
I've seen that happen as well. Like, for instance, I work on Memphis, where we feed the homeless. And so we do have, Mississippi Boulevard is my fiscal agent to raise funds through for this event. So yes, if you have a nonprofit that's in your community that can serve as your fiscal agent, yes, and you could show the direct link to the community, and it's all in how you write it. Yes, I've seen that happen before.